So here's another question about the Congress. Congress is considering changing the required minimum distribution age to 75. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's really fascinating because let me give a little bit of history and just explanation. So, required minimum distributions are something that you must take out of your retirement plans at a certain age. So, if you have a 401k or an IRA, those types of things, 403b, 457, you get to a certain age, you have to start taking money out. There's a basically a schedule, and you'll take money out really for the rest of your life if you're following, the minimums, and you must take that out. And of course, when you take it out, it's taxable. So a long time ago, for a very long period of time, the age that you had to start was 70 and a half. And they recently, a couple of years ago now, changed that to 72, which seems awesome because it does give those people who don't need it a little bit more flexibility, an extra year and a half where they don't have to take it out and don't have to pay taxes on it. And it can grow tax deferred that way, which again is a big piece of the puzzle. Now they're talking about the possibility of raising it to 75, which again is a really good thing. I read a stat somewhere that it was roughly 70% of people take out more than the minimum. So it doesn't really matter to them. They need the money. They're living off of it. They're taking out more than the minimum. But for those people who don't need the minimum, who really have other income sources and don't want the taxable income, stretching it from 72, where it is now, out to 75 is a good thing. Now, what's being proposed is it wouldn't be immediate. It'll phase in. I think it was 2035, or I can't remember the exact years, 2032 maybe, where, at that point, 75-year-olds would be, starting to take out money. So, but there's a big caveat to this because when they increased the age from 70 and a half to 72, they also took away something. See, they're trying to oftentimes find something else to generate revenue. So, hey, we gave you something over here and you're going to save some taxes, but we still need money. We still got to pay our bills. So, we're going to increase this tax over here. And what they did was that they said, all right, beneficiaries of IRAs won't be able to take it out over their lifetime anymore like they used to be able to. They now have to take it out over 10 years. That's dramatic. And again, it depends on your situation whether that matters. But I got a lot of clients where that matters. And it's a huge problem. I would rather go back to where we were at 70 and a half and still have the beneficiaries be able to take it out over their lifetime. And I think if you surveyed any of my clients who cared about their beneficiaries, they'd say the same thing. And so this proposal to go to 75 hasn't been defined yet and it's not done yet. And so we don't know what's going to happen. But my fear is they're going to find some other thing that could be worse that they're kind of, increasing a tax on in order to, offset the 72 to 75. So again, it depends. If you don't have, beneficiaries that are really important to you, then 75 is great. It's because it's you. If you do have beneficiaries, then the move from 70 and a half to 72 is kind of a disaster. So, again, we'll see what they do. There isn't anything that I've read about or seen talking about what increases they might do to offset that situation. There's even some talk of getting rid of the RMD, which I would be totally in favor of because it's a nightmare. I have a lot of clients with $1 million to $5 million in retirement plans, and they're looking at a tax time bomb, right? I mean, just unbelievable taxable income that's going to come out, in their 80s and 90s. And again, the reason they have these accounts is because pensions are gone, and companies replace pensions with a match on a 401k. And so that created this huge amount of money, and now they still have these old rules for IRAs and what have you of withdrawal called the RMD. I predicted over 10 years ago that they would have to adjust the required minimum distribution rules because the amount of money coming into these retirement plans was going to explode, and there would be a lot of political pressure from people that have these really big accounts that are, you're 90 years old and you have a $600,000 taxable distribution. It's a good problem to have, but it's a nightmare, having to pay that taxes. So some flexibility there, I think, would be a good thing. So, it's an interesting question.
Do you think it's just with like demographics shifting, people living longer? This is just kind of, a change for the demographic rather than actually going to take away something in a sense?
It is, and that's part of it. But I think it's political pressure. Again, they got people taking out hundreds of thousands of dollars out of their retirement plans and paying taxes, probably complaining to politicians about that. But that's exactly right. I mean, they, you know, used to get Social Security at 65. Now, younger people at 67. That's probably going to move. Maybe it'll be 69. And again, that's because life expectancies are getting longer. So if you had to start RMDs at 70 and a half and then it's 72, 75. So yeah, there is an aspect of that that makes sense, just in the sense of being able to start later because you're going to live longer. But I think the bigger issue is really just that tax time bomb, and there are more and more and more people that are facing that tax time bomb.